So in past classes, what we have covered, we will do a recap for that, whether you are following from the beginning or not. So it will be helpful to you. So previously we have covered what is this Mendix Studio Pro, what it contains, how it be helpful about the Explorer and toolbox and connector and properties, all those things, and also about the developer portal and marketplace. So Mendix apps can be created in two ways. One is from the developer portal, the other way is from the Mendix Studio Pro. So the difference between Mendix Studio and Studio Pro is Mendix Studio is a web tool actually. Mendix Studio Pro is a standalone application that can be installed on your local machine and can run the application. So usually Studio will be used by some business users. Developers will obviously use the Studio Pro only. So this is project dashboard for any application. So in this we will have different menu items. If you observe stories, team server, documents, general settings, all these. So this stories is useful for the project management kind of thing. If you are aware of any project management tools, so there we will see sprint creation and stories adding to the sprint, all those things, story management, the story status, all those things that can be managed here. So in Teams, we can add other members to access this application code. To access this application code and this environment operations, all administrative activities in the developer portal based on the access management we have provided. So in environments, we can see the created environments for this application. So in every application dashboard, we will have set of two environments, usually test environment, minimum two environment, test environment and production environment. So whatever you commit from the Studio Pro, so that will be deployed to the test environment first. Then then one can take unit testing and all those things. Once we are good to go, then we can promote it to production. So these environments can be configured only after taking the subscription plan from the Mendix. So now we cannot show anything here over here. So in logs, we can see the logs that will be logging in particular environment. In local, we can see the logs here itself in the console. And in particular environment, we can see the logs by using this logs menu item. So for backups, usually there will be a scheduler daily. It will take one backup of the application, complete application. If it is required, you can manually take the backup at that time. And if something fails in any environment, if something fails, something failure has happened, if you need to restore the application, then you can make use of these backups. So this is developer portal that we have discussed earlier as well. This is marketplace. This is marketplace where we can get different widgets, modules, connectors, all those things. So these are helpful to fulfill our requirement in building the application, in developing the application. So suppose if you have a requirement, some kind of extended functionality required for a text box. First we will check here whether is anyone has anyone published a similar kind of widget or anything like that. Then we will download it to our application and make use of it. So we don't need to write the code if it is available in the marketplace. Like that, we have plenty of themes, widgets, all those support from the marketplace also. And here there will be an option. Anyone can develop one application. Even anyone can develop any widget or all those things, widget, whatever the category is mentioned here, and publish it to marketplace. So once publish it to marketplace, we can control them to show only to the for our organization employees only, like that also. Suppose now we are seeing this, everyone can see this. In the same way, if you search for the data query, if you have developed your own widget in the with the same something like that in the similar name, suppose data query something like that, so that will be displayed only to the only to your colleagues in your company. In that way also we can control. That is based on the company policy. It exists actually. In some cases, generally companies will do so, like that. Then we have also discussed about the Mendix Studio Pro. So here it is App Explorer. Here we are having toolbox, properties, connectors, connector tabs here. If you see, so in toolbox, when you are in a page, this is a page. Okay, when you are in a page in toolbox, we will see the different interactive elements that we can make use of on the page design. And when you are in a microflow, we will see a other set of activities like create object, create variable, all those things. As we have already discussed, in Mendix, we usually use visually represented elements. So for creating variable also, there will be a visual element that needs to be dragged and dropped. So if you need to add a text like this, okay, you need to use the text or page title or label element. So you need to drag it from here and drop it here. Or you can click on here and add a right click on here and add a widget like this. So everything. Coding will also be done in the same way. So this page is used to generate the HTML page and for any button actions. If there is a button, okay, let us have suppose submit button. Then that button action needs some behavior, right? Some action. So for that we need to write a code. That code can be a microflow. We can create a microflow and we can retrieve some data and validate some data and save it or save it to the database and give some alert. Okay, the record has been saved. So that will be done in the microflows functionality part. if you are aware of the procedures and functions in normal traditional programming languages, that kind of part will be done in the microflows. So whenever, okay, these are called actually in the App Explorer. These are called modules. Okay, this is first module. In this way, you can create another module also. So each module will contains this domain model. If you enable the security here, each module will contain security also. So by default, whenever you create a new app, so it will be created with this minimum resources. My first module and this app module and system module and security in off mode. And this is the navigation where you can add your menu items. And based on the role also, you can define different landing pages, I mean different home pages for different roles of users. That can also be controlled here. So anyone has any questions? Anyone wanted to discuss anything? Any questions? No? Okay. So, so this is a new app I have created, my com app. Now, so I wanted to build a commerce app. Okay, now we will discuss about domain data modeling. So, for data modeling, we will use the domain model where we will have entities. Okay, this is an entity where I can have category, suppose category entity. This is called entity. So in our traditional database programming, if we refer to a table, okay. So here there are some system members available. So if you check any one of these, the system will automatically store this information. Created date, changed date, owner change by. So created date in the sense not the entity creation, it will be the record creation. So category, if you understand this as a table, so every database table will have records. So whenever one record is created, that created date will be stored in that variable. In the same way, change date. If any changes happened on particular record, that will be stored in the change date variable. So owner, who has created. Suppose if there is the user is already logged into the application, if it is allowed only by log into the application only, then it will take the owner information and saves it. And the owner in the sense who created. Change by means who changed the row, current row. So now we are creating a category table. Here Mendix we call it entity and attribute. These are called attributes. Okay. In database, you will call them as columns, tables and columns. Here we are having different number of data types available that Mendix supports. Okay. Now, because it is a name means it is a string, I am taking name as string. Now I have created. Okay. If you see the table color, it is in blue. So there is a option like persistible, yes or no. If persistible selected as yes, then that means the data will be stored in the database permanently. If persistible selected as no, so whatever the records rows you have created by using this table, that will be stored temporary. That will not be stored in the database. Okay. Now, now I wanted to create some products. Okay, for this category. So I'm creating a product entity. I'm creating name. Product name will also be string. You can define the string length over here. For now, I have created two entities. So in the entities, while create here, you can see in the entity properties different tabs available. So this is list of attributes that we have created. These are associations that we can maintain a relation between two or more entities. So that you can be add from here, or you can drag and drop arrow from here and create a association. So whatever. So that will be listed out here. So these are validation rules. We will see how to use them going forward. And event handlers. This is something like there are some set of event handlers available. If you observe the pop-up, the moment before the event commit, that means whenever you are storing one record into the table, this category table, then this piece of code will be executed whenever. How many times you commit, how many times you store the data. That means commit, store in the sense. Then automatically this flow will be executed. So the use case, to give you some idea, the use case. Suppose you are having some first name, last name, two columns, okay, in the database table, okay. But I wanted to maintain some third column full name, which is concatenation of these two columns, okay. So then we can create a microflow here. So we can take the current record first name and last name and save it to the full name column. That is how we can make use of this event handlers. This is one example. In different situations, based on the requirements, you can use this option. Anyone has any questions? Are you understanding? Are you getting what I am trying to say?
Yes, can you explain what is the main use of this event handler?
Yeah,
Uh,
just now I have given a use case, right? Suppose if you have a table with with columns first name and last name, okay? Two columns are there, okay? In person table, okay? But you have a requirement to store full name as a separate column in the separate column,
okay,
okay? But user will enter first name and last name only in the form,
okay,
okay? User manually enters first name in a one text box, last name in another text box, okay? While registering or somewhere. If you see the sign up forms, sign up pages, all those things, okay? But you wanted to maintain full name in a column separately, okay?
okay,
So where user is not providing that value, right, to you, the third column manually. So system
okay,
needs to do it programmatically by concatenating them to into one string and storing it in the third column,
yes.
okay? That can be handled with event handlers.
Oh, like what is that before, after,
Huh.
create, commit,
Yeah,
rollback?
before commit in the sense before saving it to the database. After commit means it will be saved and executes this microflow after saving.
Okay,
Okay. Create means you have created but not committed. So see, whenever you need to add one row, we will use some create object activity. Okay. Create object activity means you are creating one record to store it in the table.
okay,
Suppose I wanted to create one category. Okay. In microflow, there will be a create object that you will see going forward. So then this will be executed whenever you are creating a new record. Creating, not saving to the database, I'm saying. Commit is saving to the database. Delete is self-explanatory. Okay, delete. When you are trying to delete one record from the database, I mean from this table. Okay,
okay,
so roll back. So you have committed something and you wanted to roll it back. I mean, the last changes will be discarded. So in that case, it will be executed. Okay.
okay,
So now I have created name cat. So I wanted to add some categories. So if we need to add some categories, and if you need to see the list of categories, we can have two pages, right? One is all the list. One page should show a form where I can add the category. So for that, Mendix provides right click on this entity. You will see the context menu where you can see generate overview pages. By clicking on generate overview pages, it will be shown a pop-up where you can select the entities for which you wanted to create the overview pages. And here you can select the layouts. So the normal list will be displayed in the normal page layout, full page layout, and the new edit page will be displayed in a pop-up layout. So now I have created two pages. If you double click on this overview page, you can see the page has been generated by Mendix with search, new, delete, all those functionality available for use. You may need to write any single piece of code here to list out all the records in the category table, to search the category table records, to delete the category table records, to create a new record. So this will be shown as pop-up. By clicking on the new button, it will open this page as a pop-up and where user can enter the name and save it. Okay, now we will run the application and see how it will look like. Now, as per your own understanding, how it will look like, the application after running. So it will land on a home page, and will it show, as per your perspective, from your perspective, will it show this category pages available as a menu options? No, right? Why? Because we have not done anything to display them in the menu. As I have told you, there is navigation, which is the user menu that we will see, navigation drawer we will see in the application. So we have not added anything related to this newly created pages in the menu. So for now, we will see without having any modifications. Just now we have created an entities only, any modifications, how the application will look like. So Mendix will use, as I have told, Mendix will use Bootstrap to style the web application. So it will generate a single page application and it will use the Bootstrap and JavaScript, all those things. So and also we can use the SAS to write the CSS in the development time. So whenever we are running a project, it will create a deployment folder, deployment package to show application in a browser. So the deployment package or deployment folder consists of the CSS, JavaScript, all those artifacts that can run on a web server. So whenever we run the application, if you see in the console, we can see the console messages. And also here we are having some changes tab, right? So this changes tab is to show the uncommitted changes of the pages, microflows, all those things. So committed, uncommitted in the sense. So Mendix by default will use the SVN repository to store our application. Are you having idea about the repositories? Do you have idea about the repositories?
No, can you explain it briefly?
Yeah, repository in the sense it is a storage place where we can place all our files. So anyone who has access to that folder or place, okay, they can download it from there, and it will maintain some versioning. Suppose now we have this set of files, okay. If you commit this set of files will be stored in that place. So what happens if you make some changes and commit again? What happens to the previous files? So usually if you take some Windows Explorer, okay, suppose you have a notepad file name as test, okay. What happens if you open test and edit something and save it back? So it will override the previous one, right? But repositories will maintain the versioning. That means that previous set of commit will also be there somewhere. So it will give you one number. Okay, this is revision number one. So second, when you are committing next time, this is revision number two. When you are committing next time, this is revision number three. See, that means for every revision, you will have copy of files.
Okay.
So some other developer want to work on the revision number two, they can directly take the revision number. Or if something happens wrong in the revision number three, you want to start with revision number two again, you can revision number two. So there will be a central place where it will store all the files by revisioning. Okay. So this is errors tab where we can see if there is any errors in our code. There is no information. Server failure. So that is repository and revisioning. So once you commit your changes, currently it is showing 4 changes. Once I commit these changes, so it will become 0 here. If I made any change again, so that will be shown here. There is a one change in your page or domain model anywhere, whatever the changes we have made. That will be listed here. You can do a cross check before committing because so maybe you are not intended to commit all those changes. So just I have added some entity test entity here and forgot to remove that. So you can make a check here before committing. So for maintaining the revisions, all those things, it is not required to have any prior experience on that. So the system will manage automatically. The Mendix platform will manage automatically. Okay. Starting. So far, anyone has any confusions or questions? We can discuss on it.
So Srinivas, I have one question regarding this
If
data
someone is,
entities.
yeah, tell.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hmm. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah,
So
please
to
go ahead.
store the data, to store the data in the database, we need to give the records by using the UI
Hmm.
page only. I mean, here we have company overview and company new ID. Two pages have been created, no? So to give the records data,
Hmm.
we need to use the UI page only, or else any other alternative. By clicking the category,
There,
here entity we have created, no? So by clicking on that also, can we give the
hmm.
records?
How it will know which data you are intended to save? System, how it will know? So you want to you want to store the company name as some ABC and go.
Yeah.
How system will know that, right?
How system
But
knows
there
means
is some
actually we
way
have.
to give some
Okay.
bulk. Hmm. So suppose you wanted to store the bulk information, like there are thousands of records, okay? You wanted to
Okay.
store at a time. You can
Hmm.
prepare them in the Excel and you can import that Excel in one go to the Mendix application. You don't need to manually enter each and every record into Mendix database in that case.
Okay. So where we need to upload that Excel file in that case?
Yeah, there is a marketplace module, Mendix importer, that we need to import and we need to do some configurations.
Okay.
We need to do some configurations. So what is the sheet name? Okay. What are the columns in the Excel? Okay. And what attributes that needs to be mapped with that column in what entity? Okay. Column is from the Excel. Okay. And entity from the Mendix application. Okay. That
Okay.
mappings needs to be done. That mappings needs to be done and there will be one page interface available with that marketplace modules. You don't need to design the page again. You just need to do these configurations.
Okay. Okay.
Once you have done
So
with that configurations, by clicking on a button, you can import that.
okay. If you have time, will you show that how to configure everything?
That is, we will discuss later because that is too
Yeah.
much advanced for now, right?
Okay.
Okay. I will show it later, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, in running it local in my application, it seems to be it has some issue. I will fix that issue and show it tomorrow. So meanwhile, if you have any questions, I will answer for that. Yeah. So Rajesh, Anil, Kunchan Rao, Karishma, anyone has any questions? Please feel free to ask whatever you have in mind. No question is a bad question because you are a beginner. There is nothing to feel shy or anything. You can ask me. If you are still not able to understand what is the entity, what is the attribute, what are modules, what are these, please ask me. If you are still unclear about anything here,